Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Hopefully we are live at the moment. I decided to just pop in a few minutes early to, for one, make sure that the connection was solid. So let me just double check to make sure we are all good and we can get started. Welcome to Collaborative Conversations. So I'm Kashonda Marche. I am the founder of Kreative On Purpose, which is the nonprofit organization behind Collaborative Conversations. Just to give you a snapshot of Kreative On Purpose, we are somewhat of a new organization to the scene, if you will. But what our mission is overall is to provide positive reinforcement to women and girls, women and girls everywhere, right? We want to provide mental wellness tools to women and girls and just to our communities as a whole. So I believe our guest, our featured guest for the evening has arrived. And I will go ahead and let's just get this gentleman in here because he is just epic. So let's see if we have him. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So again, good evening, Facebook family, and welcome to Collaborative Conversations brought to you by Kreative On Purpose. Thank you guys for being here. I have to definitely thank Kreative On Purpose's leadership team for helping to make this a thing. It started as just a little idea and quickly blossomed into this evening. So again, I'm Kashonda Marche. I am the founder and executive director of Kreative On Purpose, also known as KOP. And we are, as I mentioned, a nonprofit organization that provides mental wellness tools to women and girls everywhere. And yes, I said everywhere, because the truth is mental health does matter, right? And no one should be left without resources of some kind. So we here at KOP created Collaborative Conversations for three distinct reasons. One, to check in on the folks providing services to and within our communities around the world. We are talking with nonprofit leaders and community organization leaders and Black business owners. We'll get to hear how they have gotten through some of the adversities that plague our society. Reason number two, Collaborative Conversations will allow Kreative On Purpose not to just check in, but to also get to know our fellow organizations out here putting in the good work to build stronger communities and vice versa. And reason number three, last but not least, to share with you, our community members, the outstanding work that these individuals have been able to accomplish, right? Accomplish through whatever challenges they choose to share with us during these conversations. Basically what they've been able to accomplish despite, right, the disparities that we all know exist. Basically let it be known across the globe that you are not alone, okay? And then the bonus is to get you off of autopilot, all right? So get yourselves comfy. And without further ado, we are super excited to feature Let me make sure that our guests can hear us well. Feature our first guest of Collaborative Conversations, as his work, his journey has inspired many, many, many lives and continues to do so. Let's welcome Mr. Elliot Palmer Jr. Hey, Elliot.
Hi, Cassandra. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, pretty well. It is so nice to see you again, right?
Yeah. It's good to see you also.
Yeah, it's been a while, but glad to see that you're doing well. And thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet and to have a collaborative conversation. We want to inspire the viewers, basically, right? And that definitely will go without saying once I get into this extensive bio that you have, laying out your work and things like that. I'm pretty sure I might miss a few things, but hey, that's why you're here, so that you can lay it all, lay it all out for us. So we have Mr. Elliot Palmer Jr. And Elliot is the owner of Answer. That stands for A New Start While Empowering Recovery. That is super powerful. He is the executive director of Share Hope, Inc., a peer-operated nonprofit. Elliot is a North Carolina certified peer support specialist and a peer support trainer. He is a certified RAP facilitator and an advanced level RAP facilitator. By the way, for those of you who are not familiar with RAP, RAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan, okay? And Elliot has trained thousands in peer support and RAP development. He helps others as a recovery coach and is a team member with the RCNC, which stands for Recovery Communities of North Carolina. It doesn't end there. Mr. Palmer, I said this was long. Mr. Palmer is a member of the Durham Reentry Council, the Wake Reentry Council, and he is a commissioner, okay, on the City of Raleigh's Substance Use Advisory Commission. Elliot volunteers, Elliot trains, he does so much, he inspires and moves so many people. His passion is supporting those who are stepping out on their recovery, on their journey, and working to maintain their recovery every day. So let's give it up for Mr. Elliot Palmer Jr. I will clap it up, sir, for you, because that's outstanding. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So how are you right now in this moment?
I am very, very grateful in this moment. First, before we start, I want to thank Kreative On Purpose for, I'm honored to be the first guest with you all. I'm very humbled and honored by that. And thank you very much. And I was listening to you read off my bio, and oh gosh, I'm listening. I'm saying, is that me?
Right.
But
Yes.
I'm feeling blessed at the same time and grateful.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and we're here.
Yeah, definitely. I totally know the feeling. As I had mentioned before bringing you on, that Kreative On Purpose, collaborative conversations, and all things connected started from an idea, right? I'm sure you can relate on how quick things can unravel once you start doing the work, right? Once you start doing the work. And what I mean by doing the work is digging into self, getting to know you, who you are, and who you want to become. So our, conversation is definitely conversational, although there's some key points that I definitely want to hit with you. And one is like the story behind the entity. Like, how did you get here in this moment? Like, take us a little bit into the journey.
I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But one thing I know, I guess I can kind of start sort of the beginning, but give you all a little synopsis. Throughout my life, I had some issues. And as you can tell by the name of my organization, A New Start While Empowering Recovery. And that basically describes me and what I'm doing with my life. Because I am a person in long-term recovery. And what that means to me today is that today I'm an asset to my family. I'm an asset to my community, an asset to my friends. I'm able to be a friend and be a family member.
Yes.
I'm able to be a father today. I'm able to look myself in the mirror. There were many, many years, over 35 years, that I was in active addiction. And there came a point in time where life was passing me by. And people were passing me by. You see me and go on the other side of the street, literally. And one day I just sat and thought about it. I said, wait a minute, this can't continue. There's got to be something better to life. I have to have some purpose here or something. I'm good for something. And then when I got into recovery and started changing the way I think, the way my mind processed and thought and did things, and I saw a light, and I saw some light. I had a chance to smile for once. I felt good about myself. I look forward to each day versus dreading each day. And as you said, I put in the work. I started doing the things to change my life, doing the things to change my behaviors, doing things to put myself in a better light. And some of that included, when you mentioned mental health is important, some of that included seeking help.
Yeah.
For mental health, for mental issues, mental illness, if you want to say that. And once I was, I couldn't, for years and years, I didn't want to reach out for help because I thought I should be strong enough, be a man, and real men don't ask for help. But once I became humble and I started looking at reality for what it was, and I did seek help, I was able to get the help. And then once I got the help and things started opening up for me, I wanted to help others. And so as you see, all of the things that you called out on my bio, everything that I do, my occupations, my companies, it's all geared toward helping others. And I didn't do this all by myself. I had some guidance. I had some mentors. And the big thing that helped me to progress and to keep moving forward and moving up was learning how to listen, learning how to accept direction, accept guidance. I didn't just, and I found it out that not only did it work in my life and maintaining my recovery, but it crossed over to work in business and dealing with the public and dealing with the community. There are certain ways you go about things. There's certain foundations and things that you need to build. Relationships, how to interact with people, processes in doing business, all of these things. I had people to guide me along the way. And I was willing to listen and willing to do the work, do what they said do.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I found also, and since everything I was doing was toward helping others, I took the focus off me and took the focus on my work and my purpose. And by doing that, the blessings and things that came back on me were things I never imagined. And that's just by doing the next right thing.
Yeah. I definitely feel all of that. Like, I think that is super important for us to face ourselves and to be that light, basically, for another life, right? Creative on Purpose, like our mission is to, provide mental wellness tools and positive reinforcement to women and girls everywhere. But collaborative conversations, as you will see, will entail strong male role models and leaders, as well as female, because it's important for women and girls to see both strong male role models and women role models, as they develop, as they move along in their journeys. So when did it get like real for you? Like, when did you realize, like, what was that pivotal moment that you realized that, like, basically you were building your legacy? You know what I mean? Um, that's just what it is. A lot of us in our underserved, under-resourced, overlooked communities, we don't really hear too much about legacy. You know what I mean? Or what the real deal with legacy is, what it's about. So you're building your legacy. Like, this is what your service to others, right? Your strength through your recovery and your journey is what's going to be remembered. That's legacy. You know what I mean? That's a conversation that can go on and on and on. And so I applaud you, sir. You know what I mean, for putting in that work. But when did you realize, or have you realized, that you were building or are building your legacy?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm still pinching myself and trying to wake up and realize what's going on now. But for a long time, I was working. I was trying to do the next right thing. I was trying to not skip steps, not take the easy way, not do anything illegal, just continue to do the next right thing.
Yeah.
And it started out doing it for me, and I have a passion for helping others because I don't want to see anybody go through what I had to go through to get well. If I can help you skip all of that pain and misery I went through, I want to help you skip some of that. And as you said earlier, you were talking about Creative On Purpose's mission is to help women and young girls and to show them the way and show them how to succeed and how to maintain their wellness. And I didn't realize what I was doing. I was going out, and at first it started out, I need to keep busy. By me helping other people, that helped me stay out of trouble, and then little things started happening. Yeah, I started a business. I started Answer. And it was enough to make some money and sustain myself and become self-sufficient. And I kept doing it. And, all my life, well, I had first when I was born, they named me Elliot. That's when my mother named me Elliot. But somewhere along the way, when I made that shift and I started doing things that were against the morals and values I was taught as a child, I had to create this alternate personality, and his name was Big Red.
What?
Yeah, Red could go out and steal, kill, destroy, do all of those things that Elliot was taught not to do.
Yeah.
So I put that mask on and became that alternate personality and forgot who Elliot was and where Elliot was. And then through the process of recovery, I found Elliot again. And then in finding Elliot, I'm still discovering Elliot and who he is and what the real Elliot is about. And I thought that was all I was missing, was just being Elliot again. But as I started working and started helping other people, started running my business, and no big aha or no miracles. Well, it's a miracle in itself just being here.
Yeah.
Things took place, but I just kept doing the next right thing.
Yeah.
And then one day, um, somebody called me and they said, "Excuse me, Mr. Palmer." And I'm looking around, I was like looking for my father. But they were talking about me when they said Mr. Palmer.
Yes.
And at that moment, I realized, wow, okay, something's going on here, something's changing. And then I have a 17-year-old daughter, and at this time she was 13.
Mm.
And one day my daughter came to me and said, "Daddy," I said, "What?" She said, "Daddy, I'm proud of you."
Mm.
And it was at that point I realized that something was happening. And what really made me see that a legacy was getting started, or when I say legacy, I'm saying image of myself that lasts, a positive legacy, because we can't have a negative legacy.
True. True.
Okay.
Absolutely. True.
My daughter actually was, she had gone to McDonald's one day, and I took her to McDonald's, and so she had gone inside, and she came out. This is on her way to school. I just stopped so she could go inside to get something, and she came running out to the car. And I said, "What's going on?" She said, "Daddy, you just don't realize this man in there talking all crazy, and he was fussing and arguing with these other two men, and they were about to fight.
Mm.
And I thought I was gonna have to run to the car and get my phone so I could film it." I said, "Girl, you better get in this car." She said, "But no, Daddy." She said that man was talking so much out of his head. She said, "That man need to talk to my daddy so he can help that man like he helps those people at Holly Hill."
Mm.
That's when I realized that I was leaving a legacy. Because you can say and talk and say all you want to, but I realized at that point that people hear louder what you do versus what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the point when I realized I'm leaving a legacy, and I need to step up my game and watch myself, because people are watching even when you don't think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. So true. I think that is I think that is very touching, and thank you for sharing that. Um, when you do realize that other people are watching you, looking up to you, if you will, but nonetheless just observing you and your movements, it is a very humbling thing, to have that revealed to you. That is a part of the work as well. Part of the work is that, I guess the word, that transformation, if you will, in life. Like, you go from being this bad boy, like you said, um, so far away from the true Elliot, or what Elliot was really supposed to be about, and then you began learning. And so you state that you're still learning. I can so get that. I don't think that it's a time where you should stop learning about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some of our core values here at Kreative On Purpose is, self-love and self-belief and self-respect and self-care. And yes, you get a lot of that self, but truth be told, that is where it starts, right? That is where the work starts. It starts with you. So I definitely can relate, to the journey. It's been quite fascinating watching you, because I too watch the different things that you do. I was trying to get into one of the meetings. I think this was like last week, with the advisory board, the advisory commission, and I'm like, let me get in this meeting. I want to see how Elliot, he the head of this meeting. Like, that's how he moving, But for whatever reason, I couldn't get in. But just to know, I'm like, yo, this dude trained me. Like, he helped me get certified as a peer support specialist. And my certification, my training, I take that to heart. And I use that in every everything I do now. You know what I mean? The fundamentals that we had to learn. And one of them was being strengthened or gaining strength in your own story, right? In your own story. And I remember you had us write out, we had to write out what personal wellness meant for us, you know, and we had to share these things. And I know for me, my background, my journey is highly stigmatized, you know, and so it was tough, but I'm appreciative of having to have put in that work and gained strength in my own story, because had I not, we might not be here sitting chatting right now this evening. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm very thankful for all that you do. So you mentioned, you know, mental health, you mentioned having mentors and guidance. That was, you know, that was very important in your journey. Um, Specifically, like what from yourself did you have to really dig deep in, right? Um, to help you get through, like to help you, you know, make those steps. You said you had to make step after step. It does take one step at a time, right? And just doing something good within each step, right? So outside of you know, mental health treatment, if you will, what else helped? You know, I know you mentioned your daughter. I can imagine that was a big, you know, a big part of it, knowing that she was watching. But what got you through those challenges?
Well, a number of things. Persistence,
Hmm.
patience, being willing to learn. Because you don't know, I don't know everything. And so um, it's frustrating when I hear people now that I talk to, if you're talking to somebody and you're trying to help them through a situation and they continue to say, I know, I know, I know.
Hmm.
You know, and I remember that was my mouth was full of I know, I know. If I knew, we wouldn't be here. Okay. And I had to realize that piece. Realize that it's okay to accept help. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say I'm scared and I'm afraid. Okay. And then in a part of that journey, um, because I told you for over 35 years, I was in active addiction and I had lost hope.
Yeah.
You know, I had lost hope that anything would change, that I thought I was going to die, 85-year-old drug addict. Okay. And the 85 was wishing that I was going to make it that far. Um, but along that journey of recovery, that journey of self exploration, that journey of finding my identity, I also developed faith, faith in a power greater than myself, faith that there was something greater than me, so something greater than the stuff in the world that was holding me down. And so having that faith, and with that faith, utilizing the principle of faith and hope and patience and love, using those things in all my affairs. Not just having faith when I in the room at night and want to, I want to pray before I go to sleep or when I wake up. I got to have that faith during the daytime. I got to have that faith at the board meeting. I have to have that faith at the business table. Have that faith when I'm talking to the person on the corner seeking help. I have that faith when I'm called upon and asked to do something. Um, there's a lot of things, especially in going into business and living life a new way. And this is challenges that everybody faces unless you just handle the business. And even then, you still got to adjust and adapt to running that business. Um, because we're doing things new. I'm doing things I didn't know about, things I've never done before. And a lot of times it's a matter of having the willingness to just do the next step, to just do the next right thing. You know, a lot of times I was looking and was wanting people to guarantee me, well, if I do this, then this is going to happen. Well, if I do that, then y'all gonna make sure I do such and such. And it's not, that's not faith. Faith is hoping that is unseen. And so I had to train myself, even today, get it on here on your interview with you. Yeah, I'm nervous as I don't know what, but the right thing to do is say, get on the interview and just tell the truth. Okay. And then I do it and things turn out okay. And so when I look in the past and see where things keep turning out okay by me doing the next right thing, it gives me hope and inspiration to continue going forward and continue trying to grow and move into new arenas and do new things.
Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 indeed. You touched on this like so many different things that is just super important to be aware of. And one of those things is the willingness to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the challenges that I faced, throughout my journey, because there was a point in time where I was that know-it-all, because I had gave up, and when you give up on your life and give up on you, it creates a barrier, right? It stunts you, from growing pretty much. And with that, it stunts your learning. You're not open to learning necessarily. So for me, it was like I knew everything I needed to know to just get through the day, right? A lot of things that I kind of share publicly now, people that have known me for a very long time wouldn't have never guessed. Because then we talking about that mask you mentioned. Right? That mask. And it wasn't necessarily the fact that, I was moving in a illegal way or intentionally harmful way or anything like that. But when you talking about living life with HIV, now you're talking about some stuff. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, there were a lot of, horrible judgment calls and a lot of unfavorable decisions, you know what I mean, being made. And so speaking to others and being honest with ourselves, I think is super important. So thank you for, your honesty and stepping into this conversation under the notion that, listen, I'm just going to show up. I'm nervous and I'm just going to be honest. Because guess what, Elliot? I'm with you 100%. Like that was the same talk I had to give myself, you know what I mean, before pushing the button. And people don't realize that. People think, oh my goodness, no, it's so natural, your nurturing quality, it just comes off so natural. It don't seem like you be nervous. And I'm like, oh, forget about it. Nervous, anxiety, what? Knots in the stomach, what? But it's my purpose, it's my passion to make my life stand for something. Right? Because if I let society tell it I'm not worth crap, all because of a diagnosis. So I think it's important that we as leaders, community leaders, business owners, business leaders, however you want to, whatever terminology you want to use in that sense, I think it's important for us to be authentic and for us to reach out and reach those communities that it's not a lot of hope circulating. It's not a lot of hope circulating. So that's what I'm rooted in. And I could tell just by the details of your work and your service, that's what the root is. It's just to make your life become something that you can be proud of and helping others along the way. right? Helping others along the way. So we touched on a little bit about mental health, but how important is that? You know what I'm saying? How important is mental health in one's journey, whether they are trying to achieve personal or professional goals? How important is mental health?
Uh, Mental health is the most important. Um, I don't know how many people, well, I saw a statistic once that said 80% of the population of the United States will experience some mental health issue each year.
Mhm.
And when I say a mental health issue, I'm talking about depression, periods of depression, and periods of anxiety, um, periods of panic, substance use, all types of mental illnesses. Mental health and mental illness is just a matter of me being well
Mhm.
emotionally and psychologically, because those things affect, and spiritually, because those affect us physically. Um, and one of the barriers toward um, if people admitting or sharing about their state of their mental health is the stigma associated with mental health and mental illness. You know, people should realize that it's okay to say I need help. It's okay to seek treatment. It's okay to seek counseling. It's okay to seek therapy.
Yeah.
It's okay to just let somebody know, hey, right now I could use a shoulder to lean on. Um, and while you were talking, I thought of a few things that you you said, how did we get to this point, or how do I get to this point? And being able to listen was one of those important things. But I want to point something out. Listen, Listen. In
Mhm.
order for me to listen, I need to be silent, and silent is Silent.
Mhm.
And when I listen, when I'm silent, I get to listen, and when I listen, I'm silent, and they're both spelled with the same letters.
Mhm.
One is, you can't do one without the other. Um, but they were talk about in acronyms a lot. I love some acronyms. So when we talk about seeking, you asked me, how did I get help, or how did I deal with these manage to get past these things? I had to, for once in a while, I talk about that stigma associated with mental health. I had to put aside my pride and say, put aside your pride. Yeah, I couldn't be too proud to go to the counseling center. I couldn't be too proud to ask somebody to help me. I couldn't be too proud to admit that I needed help. I couldn't be too proud to admit that something wasn't right. You know, and a lot of people operate, or I did for a long time, operated on pride. I didn't want to admit that I had a problem. I didn't want to admit that my life wasn't going like it was going, like it should be going. I put on those masks instead. And the reason I put on the mask was because of pride. And when I look at pride, Pride, pride stands for primary reason I die early. Mm,
Ooh,
yeah,
say that again.
primary reason I die early.
Oof.
Pride. If I let go of that pride, I have a chance to live. I have a
Yes.
chance to learn. I have a chance to love. I have a chance to grow. You
Yes.
know, and then when I start doing these things, when I start moving into new arenas, I start experiencing, getting to know new people, start doing a business, start becoming self-sufficient, start becoming respectable, start becoming dependable, start becoming responsible. That's all new and it's strange and it's uncomfortable at times, and I had to figure out a way to not only deal with the world, but deal with the changes happening in myself,
Yeah.
because it can get frustrating. And when it came to that, I was taught by one of my mentors, Elliot, whenever you start feeling that way, you start feeling uncomfortable, you start doubting yourself, you start having fears, you start questioning what you're doing, you start doing things you don't understand, whatnot. just act cute. I said, okay, just act cute. That sounds real nice. I said, so what does that mean? And they broke it down to me again. Here's another one of the acronyms, CUTE. Have some compassion, practice some understanding, practice some tolerance, and have some empathy.
Mm.
Remember that I'm a work in progress, and have some compassion on myself for not being so perfect. Have some understanding that I have feelings and things I'm going to experience and go through in order to get where I'm going. And have some tolerance for myself when I'm not perfect or that I make mistakes. Don't beat myself up. Just have some tolerance. I'm going to get there. And have some empathy. Empathize with what I'm going through. Empathize with what I've been through. Sometimes I got to step back and look at my own situation and my own position so that I get a clear understanding of what's happening with me.
Mm-hmm.
So just act cute, learn how to be silent so that I can listen and put that pride to the side. If I can do those things, then I'm well on my way to wellness.
I hear that. That is some super like powerful stuff. You know what I mean? And practical in a sense. Like no, we can do that.
Yeah,
It takes some work to get to that point, I'm sure. But we can, right? And that's the whole thing about support is we can support others while we are growing and continuing to grow. Now you the acronym, okay, so you the acronym man, right?
I got another place to share.
You got okay, lay it on us. Come on.
Yes, you said that. You said that we can.
Yeah.
And I want people to think about this and think about their mental health and mental illness. We got the word wellness and we got the word illness. And the only difference in the two are the letters at the beginning. Illness starts with I and wellness starts with we.
Ooh.
So if I stay stuck in the I, I'm going to stay stuck in my illness. But if I seek help and accept help and listen, and we together can carry me into wellness and get me out of my illness. That's very important. I wanted to take a moment to share something with the viewers. In the work we're doing now, I'm also working with NC Cares and Voice Therapeutic Solutions, where they just started. They had a grant. They just started the first warm line here in Eastern North Carolina, or here in Central North Carolina. And we've all heard of hotlines, where you can, the suicide hotline or Alcoholics Anonymous hotline, Narcotics Anonymous hotline. And that's when situations are dire and situations are at the hot, critical point, crucial point, and you need some immediate help in the middle of a crisis. But a warm line is where people can get support for when situations have become uncomfortable. Okay, before I'm homeless, I can reach out to a warm line and find some help and talk to some resources, talk to peer support specialists, people that can help me to avoid the housing crisis. Or if I'm, having challenges getting food and other resources, or getting treatment for mental health or substance use, I can call a warm line, because I'm not at that point where the stuff's gonna hit the fan, but I can see the situations are headed that way. And I can get support to maintain my life and keep my life in a sense of before a situation gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Okay. And the number, I want to share the number with everybody.
Yeah, please do, so that our KOP leadership can put that in the chat for us, in the comments section for us, as Elliot reads it off.
Okay, so I put it in our chat, but so you'll have it. But the warm line number is 1-919 760-6950. Once again, 1-919-760-6950. And you can call this number 24/7. Help you with any resources, especially now we're going through this COVID, this pandemic, racial and social climate here in America, and even the weather. All kinds of things are happening, but you can call this number. You got certified peer support specialists manning the phones, so they're able to connect you with resources in your community, wherever you live, able to help you through whatever situation it is you're going through, give you some assistance so we can get you point you in a direction where you can move toward wellness, getting into that we. Just by calling that number, you're in the we versus being in the I, staying in that illness. So please, this is brand new. It's funded by the state, so that we can get the assistance we need to our communities. Anybody in the state, you can call this warm line and get the resources and assistance you need.
That's pretty awesome. I think, thank you for sharing that with us. Let me make sure that our leadership is placing that in the chat. Oh my goodness. I feel so, well, no, we at KOP, I think I can speak for KOP as a whole on this point. We are super honored to have you take time out of your busy schedule to come and have a conversation with us and kind of share some wisdom, basically, with us and with our viewers. That's what it's all about. That is the true definition of a collaborative conversation, right? Okay. When you come together, that's right. When you come together, maybe you could think of maybe you could come up with an acronym or something for this. When you come together, right? For a what's the word I'm looking for? Mutual purpose. When you come together with someone and you moving forward or taking steps towards a mutual purpose, that's a collaboration.
That's right.
So we at Kreative On Purpose, we getting creative with things. We getting creative on how we offer our support, lend our support, which means bringing on, let's have these conversations with our leaders. You know, they've been successful at leading us. They've been successful at serving us in these organizations and through their businesses or what have you. So what, has helped them. So that is the collaboration in all of this. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that. So we coming up, okay, so we're about 15 minutes to go. Maybe like what words of encouragement, right, would you give to future, like the leaders in development, like the young people that are showing interest in the inequities and the injustices and the disparities? They showing an interest, and that's pretty huge. But we want to build upon that, right? So what words, what would you have to say to our future leaders in development?
Oh, what I would say is have some faith, and then in having faith, have some courage and some belief and hope in yourselves, in your ideas, in your values, and in your visions. Innovation is always great. Change is always great. It's always inevitable. But in seeking change, in seeking improvements, in seeking innovations, there's some things that we must do. First, we talked about already, and that is being learn to listen. And when I learn to listen, in order to listen, I need to be silent. How can I listen if I'm still saying, I know, I know, I know? Okay. And utilize your resources. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we can come up with a better design for the wheel. So in order to come up with a better design for the wheel, I need to get in touch with the man that first made the wheel and get some input from him, the challenges and things he faced in making the wheel, so that now I know how to get past those challenges and how to just focus on the improvements. So utilize your resources, utilize those older than you, utilize those that are have that wisdom or have that knowledge. Find out something that you're interested in. Find people that you see are doing the same things you're interested in, and talk to them. Ask them how they're doing it. Ask them ask for suggestions and guidance from people that are already doing it. If you want to make $1 million, you don't go and ask the person that doesn't have it, that's unemployed. You go ask a millionaire.
Yeah.
If you want to become a homeowner, go talk to homeowners and ask how they became homeowners. If you want to be married, talk to married people. Having a conversation with a single person about marriage, just think about it. So when we talk about utilize our resources, find those that have like interests or doing the things that we're interested in, get to know them, learn how to network, learn how to reach out to people, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for guidance. And put that pride to the side. If you put your pride to the side, you can get the correct information. You can get the help you need.
Yeah.
You can get the motivation you need. But if I'm sitting there being too prideful to accept direction, too prideful to accept assistance, too prideful to let anybody know that I got issues and I got things going on in me, then I can't get the help I need. And if I isolate and try to do things on my own, how can those around me, my supporters, know when I need help? How can the people that care about me know when, it's time for them to step in, or it's time for them to give me some encouragement? You think about this, and I want to put this bug in your ear. People say, well, I can do this on my own. Or that's like mental health and substance use. One of the biggest tools of both of those disorders is isolation. And you know what? Why the disease of addiction or why mental illness likes to isolate you? Because isolation makes detection, diagnosis, and treatment very hard. How can you detect something's wrong with you if you don't go to the doctor? How can you get diagnosed if you don't let the doctor know what's going on? And how can the doctor treat you if he doesn't see you? So just take some of that to heart. Those are some of the biggest suggestions or things I can share with you. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I did and what works for me. And Kashinda mentioned earlier about self-care, the importance of self-care. And self-care, you're going to hear a lot, or I speak a lot on self-care. Self-care and selfish are not the same thing. Okay?
Tell them.
I practice self-care. I don't practice being selfish. Because just so they tell you when you're on an airplane, if the plane starts going down and the little airbags drop, whether you got children or loved ones or whatnot beside you, you need to put your mask on first. And then that way from that point, you're able to help others. So I need to be maintaining my self-care, my wellness, so that I can help and instill hope and wellness in others. Because if I'm not, you can't pour water from an empty cup. So if I'm not doing it, I can't give it away.
I'm I'm just in it. I'm just soaking up. I'm just soaking up everything. Just soaking up everything because I love it. You know, I love getting poured into. And I think that's important for us to kind of love that, especially when it's coming from a positive cup. You know, I'm not talking about, you know, negative cup, but from a positive cup, from a cup of experience, you know, from a cup of learning. You know, you learned. And so we get that. We get to get some of that, you know, and yeah, so thank you. I love it. I love it. So how can people support you or, you know, in your continued work? Like, how can people reach you if they wanted to, you know more or help out or whatever the case may be? How can they get in touch with you?
Okay. Well, I'll give you all my phone number. I don't mind that. My phone number is 919-670-7738. 919-670-7738. Call me, if you need help or you need some guidance or a question about something, feel free to call me. But I also need you to pick up the phone sometime just to check on me and see how I'm doing. Because and one valuable thing I want to say to the leaders out here and say to those that are leading our communities, whether it be business, recovery, community-wise, whatever, always we need help also. We need guidance. We need someone to talk to. People say, well, Elliot, you're a teacher, you're an owner and all this. You help other people. But Elliot goes and takes time to seek help himself. All the stuff I just shared with you all, I got this from somebody else. People helped me and taught me all of these things. And if you just think about it, it's simple. If the shepherd feeds the sheep, who feeds the shepherd? So the shepherd's got to get fed too. So don't be afraid. That's why I say, y'all call me and check on me sometime. I need to be fed too. Also, email, you can email me. My email address is answer with a period behind the A. So ANSWER@yahoo.com. Okay. Feel free to contact me, call me, email me. And let's get the work done. Let's increase our wellness and do whatever it is you got on your mind. Let's get it done. Let's do it. Like Nigel said, let's do it.
I hear that. I hear that. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing your contact information with us, because again, no one should be left without a resource of some kind, to help them. Go ahead.
And one more thing, Cassandra, I just realized we were on Facebook platform. You can also find me at Elliot Palmer Jr. on Facebook, and also a New Start While Empowering Recovery on Facebook. Check out our page. Come visit us. And I know we're about to be out of time, Cassandra, but I want to thank you for having me on here. Thank you for motivating me to continue doing the next right thing. And if in time, Creative On Purpose with a Purpose would like me to come back, I would love to come back. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
You already know that was coming, Elliot. Look, so we could put you down for like a future collaboration. As we go on.
Please do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again for spending this time with us. Brothers and sisters, this concludes our very, very first collaborative conversation. Like we did it, we did it, right? Language is important. We did it.
Congratulations.
Thank you again, Elliot, for a great conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you, KOP leadership, that's out there manning the comment section. Of course, when we're in Zoom, I'm not able to see what's going on Facebook because multitasking, I gave that up quite some time ago. So it doesn't look like any questions have come in. I'm pretty sure people are just stuck soaking up everything that you just laid out and just poured into us. But thank you, KOP leadership, for all your help in making this happen. And thank you, community members, for tuning in. You know, maybe you might be catching this, you might catch it on a replay or what have you. But know that Elliot Palmer and Answer um, is available. Elliot dropped his contact information. This guy, he knows his stuff. And if I can say so myself, a very, very positive and good, strong leader. So this is someone that if you needed some direction, this is your guy. So if you haven't already, you're catching this live on the Kreative On Purpose Facebook page. So if you haven't already, like our page. If you'd like to help keep our efforts moving forward and providing, you know, mental wellness tools to women and girls everywhere, visit our website. That is www.creative with a K on purpose.org. And you can learn a little bit more about Kreative On Purpose. Elliot, community members, Facebook family, KOP leadership, keep safe, stay prayed up, and you guys have a good night. We out.